I just wanted to get your take on the latest Moody's report when they reaffirmed ratings for India. There was this commentary about, they brought in extraneous factors like Manipur and so on and so forth. How do you view that?
I think old habits die hard. And I think people, this is where, and I'm not trying to proselytize you as an economist. I'm not saying you should think the way we do. Everyone has a right to think. But I think data has great power. And even when we look at crime, we look at riots, look at the long-term data in this country. India used to have more than 1 lakh riots a year. And by the way, the definition of riot has not changed. That's why it's a good variable to look at. Riot is any episode which involves more than 5 people in a violent episode for a common purpose. And it is registered in a police station. That's why the data exists. So if you look at NCRB data, what do you find? That this is a country, up until the 90s, you had more than 1 lakh riots every year. The reality, it is down to 40,000 and falling. Now, of course, we live in a day and age of social media. So if there is one episode here, and I'm not saying Manipur is an isolated episode, Manipur is a structural problem. And I think there is a recognition of that. I'll keep the politics aside. But there are issues to land rights. Do you know, in the Northeast, we have never done a survey of land. Please recognize that these are long-term problems that one is trying to solve in a sustainable way. It's not a stopgap. Army bhej diya. That's not going to solve your problem. It never has in the past. So when you're looking for these long-term solutions, this will take time because you're looking for something sustainable. But the kind of narrative that you see in the Western, and by the way, this is the first time I'm even talking about it. I used to think there's nothing called the Western press. There is good press and there is bad press. But over time, we know that this is being bankrolled. And I urge you to read the article that I wrote on narratives and how money is being spent to spin narratives. And you saw the New York Times latest expose on media. And I must say, for you guys, this is a very difficult time because your credibility is at an all-time low. And I mean as a community. So you have to, therefore, I think the best bet is take support in data because that is relatively more objective. Otherwise, it's your voice versus his voice. One anecdote against another anecdote. Whom do you believe? And trust, in many ways, is difficult to build. So I think taking recourse to data, as you'll see the revisions happen in terms of, it's only a starting. You will wait and see. Many more will come around. Now, when you mention Manipur, when you mention Haryana, that's a political call, I think. Right? But the long-term trends are all showing that, it's a great time. It's a great time for India, and I wish you all the best, and every shoulder to the wheel. Each of you is contributing in your own way. So, thank you very much.